It was a regular Tuesday morning in a small, quiet town in the middle of nowhere. Sarah, a scientist with a passion for the unknown, sat in her lab staring at her computer screen, scanning through the latest satellite data. Everything seemed normal, but then, a strange anomaly appeared on her monitor. It was a blip. Too fast, too small to be a satellite or any known object. Her curiosity piqued. Sarah ran the numbers again, her fingers trembling as the data confirmed the impossible. An unidentified craft had entered Earth's atmosphere. Her heart raced as she grabbed her phone and called her colleague, Mark. "Mark, you need to see this. We have company." "Not from around here," she said, her voice shaky but resolute. Mark, ever the skeptic, laughed it off at first. "Come on, Sarah. Probably just some junk from space or a satellite crash," he joked, dismissing her warning. But when he saw the readings, his expression turned from disbelief to serious concern. The two of them worked tirelessly, tracing the strange object's trajectory. As the hours passed, the object came closer, entering Earth's orbit. Panic started to spread across the globe as news outlets broke the story of an approaching alien ship. Governments scrambled to respond, sending jets to intercept the craft, but none returned. That night, as Sarah and Mark watched from a makeshift command center, the sky lit up with a blinding flash. The ship, hovering above their town, sent a pulse of energy that knocked out power for miles. As the craft descended, a hush fell over the streets. People watched in awe, some in fear, but no one moved. The door of the alien ship slowly opened, and out stepped a figure. Not a monster, not a warlord, just a humanoid, but different. Its skin shimmered like liquid metal, its eyes glowing an otherworldly blue. It spoke in a language no human had ever heard, yet somehow, Sarah could understand. "I am Zarian," the being said, its voice like a soft hum. "I come not to conquer, but to ask for your help." Sarah, her scientific mind racing, was the first to step forward. "Help? From you? What do you need?" she asked, still trying to process what was happening. Zarian explained that their homeworld was dying. Their people, technologically advanced yet spiritually lost, had discovered Earth as a potential sanctuary. However, they needed the help of humanity to save their race. But Zarian had an ultimatum. "If you refuse, our planet and yours will face destruction. We will not be able to survive without your help." As Mark stood beside Sarah, staring at Zarian, he muttered, "How do we even trust them?" But Sarah, intrigued and moved by the alien's sincerity, made a bold decision. "We'll help. But only if we do it together." The world held its breath as governments hesitated, but the desperation on Zarian's face was too real to ignore. The two races had no choice but to join forces. Little did they know, this was just the beginning of something much darker and more dangerous. Weeks passed since Zarian's arrival. The alliance between humans and aliens, though uneasy, began to take shape. Governments set aside their fears, and scientists collaborated with Zarian's people to understand their technology. What they didn't know, however, was that not all aliens were as noble as Zarian. While he seemed honest, there were others among his people who had their own plans. Sarah and Mark found themselves in the heart of the alien ship, working with Zarian and his crew to understand their advanced technology. One night, Zarian confided in Sarah. "There is more to our story than what I've told you. My people are not just dying because of environmental collapse. There are forces within my species that seek to destroy your planet as a means of survival. If we do not act soon, both our worlds will be consumed." Sarah felt a chill down her spine. The fear of betrayal now felt more real. She needed to warn others, but who could she trust? Mark, always practical, argued that they needed to be cautious. "We can't just blindly follow them, Sarah. There's something off about this whole situation." But as they dug deeper, they uncovered a shocking truth. Zarian was not the leader of his species. He was a dissenter, exiled from the ruling faction who believed in using humanity as a resource to save their own kind. Zarian had secretly been working against them all along, but his efforts were sabotaged by a powerful faction within his own people who had infiltrated Earth's government. One fateful evening, as Sarah and Mark returned to the command center, they discovered that several high-ranking officials were missing. The truth hit them like a ton of bricks. The betrayal was much closer than they had ever imagined. The alien faction had already begun manipulating human leaders, setting the stage for an invasion disguised as a partnership. In the chaos that followed, Zarian's true motives came to light. He was not just asking for help, he was begging humanity to stand up against his own people. His compassion for Earth was real, but his enemies had begun their silent war. "You must stop them," Zarian pleaded, desperate to make amends for the horrors his people had unleashed. "If we fail, your world will burn, and so will mine." But the battle was not just between humans and aliens, it was a battle for the soul of the galaxy. Earth had to make a choice. Would they remain complicit in the alien conspiracy, or would they fight back? The revelation rocked the world. Governments scrambled to respond, with factions now split between those who wanted to cooperate with Zarian's enemies and those who, like Sarah and Mark, wanted to fight for Earth's survival. But time was running out. The alien invaders, now fully revealed, were preparing to take over key military bases and supply chains, using humanity's own technology against them. Sarah and Mark, along with Zarian's small band of rebels, led a resistance against the alien invaders. They discovered that the alien technology, while advanced, had a major flaw: its power source was unstable. The invaders needed Earth's resources to stabilize it, and they were willing to do anything to ensure their dominance. The resistance worked tirelessly to sabotage the alien operations, setting up traps and misinformation. They infiltrated alien-controlled bases and discovered the truth: the alien faction was planning to destroy Earth's core, triggering an extinction-level event that would benefit their species by siphoning Earth's energy to power their ships. In a race against time, the final showdown took place deep within the heart of the alien ship. With Zarian's guidance, Sarah and Mark planted the explosive devices that would disrupt the power core, but it wasn't going to be easy. As they ventured further into enemy territory, they faced overwhelming opposition. Every step brought them closer to the heart of the enemy's plan, but also closer to their own demise. In the final moments, as Sarah activated the detonators, the countdown began. The tension was unbearable. Would they succeed, or would the entire planet be lost? As the ship trembled and began to explode, Sarah and Mark barely escaped, the blast from the alien power core sending shockwaves across the galaxy. The sky darkened, and for a moment, it seemed like all was lost. But then, there was silence. The alien ship was destroyed, and with it, the threat to Earth. Zarian, who had stayed behind to ensure the detonation went off, sacrificed himself for the greater good. The world had been saved, but the cost was high. Earth was left to rebuild, but the lessons learned were forever etched in humanity's mind. Trust, in the face of uncertainty, had saved them. And the alliance with Zarian, though forged in secrecy and betrayal, had proven that even the darkest of alliances could be a light in the end.